So guys, welcome to the most requested video ever, which is of course my entire perfume collection, which we are gonna look close at. I will do a mini review on all fragrances I own, and I even wanna spray all of them on me, but I don't know if I'll have enough space because I'm not really sure about the exact number of fragrances I own by December 2020. So if you don't mind counting, please comment down below by the end of this video how many fragrances we go through today. And of course, if you have any questions left as the video is over, feel free to comment them down below. I would be very interested in your feedback in general. I know that many of you were really curious about my collection, and today I'll be, sharing with you stories of all fragrances, but I'll try to do that quickly, and despite that, I think this video is still gonna be pretty long. That's why grab a snack, enjoy this one, but please keep on your mind that I've already filmed collection overview of perfumes I keep in my room. So there are two parts that you can watch after this one. Helpful information regarding perfumes we are going to talk about today, and other collections is in the description box down below. And I guess on that note, we can get started. So for all the details about my insanely beautiful niche perfume collection, please keep on watching because the designer one is coming up next week. I actually have two shelves you can't see right now, but they're filled with perfumes, so stay tuned for the third part of my collection. And here, guys, comes my entire perfume collection. You can see while watching my videos, it's all I own by December 2020. And by the way, I'm filming this video around Christmas time. That's for this holiday decoration. So let's have a closer look at this top shelf. And by the way, I place my perfumes on the shelves without any specific reason, except that smaller ones are in the front row and bigger ones are behind them. But I guess that's pretty logical. So here I have a fragrance called Modern Nomad, and it is by the French niche brand State of Mind. All their fragrances are very luxurious and feature notes of tea. Here I have perfume Alugine, which I'm very excited to tell you about. It's very, very sexy. This fragrance, Etat Grass, not sure if you can see it, is from the French brand, and it smells very niche but very friendly. And this is one of the most popular fragrances ever, Lune Féline. It's like a winter, cozy, delicious vanilla fragrance. Next to it, I have a gorgeous oud from Italy, a couple of fragrances from a British brand, Memoirs London, my gorgeous Quinto Canto, favorites of 2020. And in the front we have perfume from Lalique, some French fragrances and British ones, even some from Turkey, Germany and United Emirates. So this is the top shelf, and now let's talk about each fragrance in detail. So guys, this shelf right here has lots of my favorites. I will start with the perfume from the French brand State of Mind. It is called Modern Nomad. It's a very luxurious bottle. It feels very heavy. The glass is gorgeous. The shape is unique. And the scent features a very pretty popular notes combo of patchouli and rose. It's a very successful combination because it makes perfumes very expensive smelling, but in here we have additional note of tea, which is not green like in the majority of fragrances. Instead, it is dark, aromatic, black, almost smoky tea. So that brings an interesting nuance to this fragrance, and it is very easygoing, very easy to understand and to like. I think those people who are into niche fragrances are pretty much familiar with the patchouli rose combination. Let me know if you own some fragrances with those notes yourself. And we are moving on to the next one, which is Alugine by Kajal. This is a truly stunning bottle, and the fragrance is so sexy. In the first moment you can notice some similarities with Intense Cafe by Montel, because there you'll also get this sugary sweetness, but there are some additional notes that you can't smell in Intense Cafe, which are animalic dirty pheromones, and it is very sexy, very nice if you're going out because it is very, very strong. And if you like sexy perfumes, that's definitely the one that is very sexy in my personal opinion. And the next one one is rather universal and friendly perfume from the brand Plume Impression that is called Etant de Grace. This is a graceful, fruity, citrusy fragrance that is very easygoing, everyday friendly. You can't really go wrong with it. I gotta be honest with you, I don't wear it that often, but when I wear it, I always feel myself really good. So it's like a no-brainer for me. Next fragrance, though, I wear only on special occasions because this is a special fragrance. I feel like a lot of people talk about Le Féline by Atelier des Ors, and this is a very successful fragrance overall. First of all, this is a stunning bottle. Second of all, it's a very pleasant and mass appealing fragrance that will make you feel good because it is about cozy, spicy vanilla that is truly satisfying and comforting, and people like scents like that. So if you like wintry vanillas, that's definitely one of my biggest favorites. And one of my most favorite oudi perfumes is from the Italian brand IOKO called One Oud, and this is an area friendly oud because it has almost like this green citrusy veil on the oudi part, so it's fresh, it's not as heavy as other oudi fragrances are. I gotta be honest with you, I don't wear it very often because the problem with me and perfumes is that I test so many on a daily basis, which I'm very grateful for. I'm always excited to smell new perfumes, but sometimes I forget my all-time favorites. But with that being said, let's move on to two perfumes by the British brand Memoirs London. One of them is Luxurium, that looks like this, and it smells like a beautiful citrusy and very candy-like floral scent for the ladies that is sweet and slightly commercial smelling. That's for super mass appealing. People are into scents like that. So if you like fragrances from designer brands but you want more power in them, Tristia is gorgeous for that. I personally like Luxuria is great for that. I personally like Tristia a bit more because, you guys, it has slightly Animalic vibe and that beautiful rose patchouli oud sensation. So it smells heavy, and Animalic twist in there is not, you know, raw and aggressive. It's very pleasant, in fact. So with that being said, those are a couple of my Memoirs London perfumes. I have another one, but it's from a new collection. And we are moving on to the new releases from Quinto project by Tiziana Terenzi in absolutely fabulous bottles. Their presentation is always on point, but these ones, they're just elevated, probably because of these colorful bottles. The colors are so bright, so vivid, so amazing and lively, and the fabric is gorgeous. When you touch it, it's satin and it's extra, you know, seductive, I would say. And all these fragrances are inspired by love stories, and these three are based on the love story of Princess Isotta that lived in the very ancient Italian castle, and her husband Sigismondo. So Isotta, this purple, absolutely mind-blowing fragrance, is my new signature scent, guys. It took me a while to realize how it smells. It was true mystery to me. I couldn't really define its scent, but then I realized it's like a tea rose. So it's rose, it's very powdery, but it's not like rosy. You don't notice the rose right away. There is like tea rose element, and there is eucalyptus for the strength because that woman was really powerful. And even, you know, in the not Middle Ages, but she lived like long ago, she you know, was in charge, which is amazing. So it's absolutely phenomenal fragrance, powdery, with depth, with interesting green elements. It's my new signature scent I discovered in 2020, and these two that are inspired by her husband Pandolfo and Sigismondo are truly Terenzi's oudi fragrances that are so damn sexy. I prefer them over Sex Weapon Mandragola that my mom stole, so I wear Pandolfo and Sigismondo, which might be a bit more masculine than unisex, but I don't care. I find oud is such a brilliant, sexy unisex perfume note. So both of these are stunning, and I like all three new Quinto releases very much for everything, their looks and their scents. Right, so we are moving on to a very fun looking fragrance that is called Manache Rouge, and it is by Haramain. It reminds me of a carousel. It's so much fun, and with its scent it reminds me a little bit of quite popular perfume. I don't know where to spray it on, maybe here. No, Baccarat Rouge, but it is softer. It has like that mossy note, but it's powderier, it's smoother without any harshness. That gives me challenging times in Baccarat Rouge, so I definitely prefer my Manache Rouge over Baccarat Rouge. So with that being said, if you like Baccarat, you will like that, and if you like jasmine, I highly recommend you to check out Yasmina, because this fragrance has been with me for a very long time, and that's for a good reason, because it's one of the very best true jasmine scents. Oh yes, it's heady, indolic, but also very fresh and sweet. It's one of those opulent fragrances that I personally love to wear in the summertime. And I'm not sure why I like sweet fragrances when it's hot. Let me know if you are like me. And with that, we are moving on to Nishane fragrances. Who loves this stunning niche brand from Turkey? I'm a big fan of it. Colonize really blew me away because it's a citrus cologne, but with extreme performance. It's lively, it's fresh, green. Neroli element in there is so beautiful. If you like neroli, you will really enjoy it, because it's like gorgeous, not harsh neroli with note of tea and citruses. Absolutely beautiful for the summertime when you don't want anything intensely strong, but it is still strong in terms of its longevity, particularly for the cologne perfume. And this is demi-extrait of their perfume Muscane, which is for the lovers of powdery fragrances like me. Well, guys, this is like whipped musk with violets and raspberries, so it has interesting berry nuances and lots of powderiness. It is very strong and it is very powdery. So if you like rather vintage fragrances, I have one of the best, really like almost old-fashioned smelling fragrances by the brand Royal Crown. Well, their bottles speak for themselves. Quality of their fragrances is insane. They are super strong, and this particular one reminds me of Chanel No. 5 because of the waxy floral notes and extremely soapy aldehyde. So it's like a soapy, powdery, old school type of perfume. And something way more modern is La Mimosa by Amouage. This whole collection is stunning. So far I only own La Mimosa from it, and oh, I used to be obsessed with it when I first received it, because it's this very modern, fresh floral fragrance, abstract. It's like a, you know, water-colored flowers. They are so muted in one another that you can't really realize what's in there, although there is powdery mimosa, but also the note of pear, so it has like watery fruitness in there. I really like its watery texture. So that was La Mimosa, and now we are moving on to two perfumes by Sarah Baker from England, and her Jungle Jezebel I personally consider a perfume masterpiece. It's definitely a gem from my collection. There is no other perfume that would smell like it, because, you know, you spray it on and it opens, oh my god, yes, so many memories, with this bubblegummy scent that smells of different fruity notes, particularly bananas, and it quickly turns into exotic floral fragrance. And then in the base there is fruity vetiver and animalic civet, and all of that might smell or sound strange, but believe me, although it wasn't love at first sniff for me, nor it was for many other people, once you take a bit of time to spend with it, you will recognize its beauty, and it is super duper strong. So that's a fun fragrance for those who are very experienced with perfumes, who have many years of perfume addiction and want something that will blow them away. Leopard is for the lovers of rose, but very spicy and powerful rose, because in here you get rose in the company of pepper, of cardamom, of maybe like animalic nuances. So I would call it deep, dark, daring, spicy rose. Right, next I have Dark Game by July St. Barthélemy. She's a designer in Grasse, and she designs hats. So I really like this link of the cap in a form of hat to her designer background. And anyway, this is fragrance in the absolutely gorgeous floral style, because the ones like it are not designed on the everyday basis. It has this dated character, which I truly adore about it. So you can imagine opulent flowers, but being dated. So they are not fresh, they're not in a full bloom, they are dated. It smells like true perfume, and what I love the most about it is almost like crystallized cinnamon sprinkled over the floral petals. So last but not least on that shelf is Soleil by Lalique. I love this brand so much. They have fabulous fragrances, and this one smells sunny. It smells like very feminine lady spending vacation somewhere on the French Riviera wearing very beautiful fragrance. It's easygoing and very enjoyable. I personally like it a lot. So that was the top shelf, and yeah, let me know I will be going through shelves, and you can comment down below your favorites, the ones that sounded most interesting to you from each one of them. So let's get down, and here we have some more of Quinto perfumes, another fragrance from the Royal Crown that might seem very appealing to some ladies because of its color. Then we have more of 4,160 these fragrances, and you know, the rest is in my room. There are so many of them because I like this brand. Here's another fragrance from Haramain and Nishane perfumes, my collection of January scent project, which is one of the most creative brands out there with absolutely unique scents you will never find anywhere else. Here is an absolutely stunning bottle. This is like a masterpiece bottle in my opinion, and the scent is very interesting. I can't wait to tell you more about it. These are two of Musky Milano fragrances I have, and two fragrances from the House of Oud. Oh my god, can't get over those bottles. This is an award-winning perfume I have here, standing bright and tall, by the Canadian brand Monte, and Judy by Kajal is, I'm telling you, this is such a cool fragrance. It looks like you already want it, and then you smell it and you are like, ah, this is so pretty. So Simimi's fragrance is Benny's favorite. It was actually designed by Paolo and Tiziana Terenzi, so maybe you noticed that opulence in the design of the bottle. Here is a gorgeous Osmanthus fragrance from Exaltatum London, and finally, very interesting berry fruit chili. Alrighty guys, let's move on to the second shelf and start from this side. Let me tell you about Cristal d'Afrique, because this is a special fragrance that was inspired by the African roots of its creator David, who is a very inspiring and humble person, and the scent is so powerful you will be blown if you ever test it, because it opens with an extremely spicy aroma. It is very foodie, smells of spices in the kitchen. It's one of those fragrances you can describe as edible. So if you like spicy, soury scents that smell like food, and not only spices, just food. It even reminds me of, I don't know which cuisine, Polish, Ukrainian, I'm not sure, but it smells very, very foodie, of maybe some herb, I can't really define, but it has this hot vibe. You wear it and you're like, oh my god, it's so hot today. And I'm always amazed by the positive reaction of people to it, so that's pretty cool. And here I have two fragrances by Musky Milano. If you like oriental fragrances with note of amber and you've never tested Tango, then you're really missing out. This is a very popular fragrance in the community for a good reason. Even I fell in love with it right at first sniff, which wasn't that hard, because Cecilia Zarokian is a very talented perfumer and all her fragrances are very, very addictive. And this one smells like hot amber, and also sexy body that was dancing the passionate dance of tango all night long, having one rendezvous after another. It's very powerful, warm, extremely projecting fragrance, in my personal opinion, rather suitable for the cold weather, just because it's so hot and warmy. You will be definitely in warm hands wearing it. And another favorite of mine from them is Russian tea. This perfume is very special to me, probably because of my associations with it. For the first time I've smelled it, it was, oh yes, in Milan, and I was wearing it on the rainy, springy streets of Milan, and I'm always transported there when I smell this, yes, tea scent, but it's not this leafy green ethereal kind of tea note in there. You will get instead a lot of power and woodsy elements. It's green but not herbal, with an absolutely unexpected note of raspberry jam. So it's a lot of fun, in my opinion, creative fragrance, also for like maybe summer weather, but since I associate it with rain, then for rainy nights. Okay guys, are you ready for absolute miracles? Look at these bottles by the House of Oud. They're all handmade, so if you are a sucker for stunning presentation, this is the brand you definitely need to check out. And I have a couple of their perfumes, so we'll be talking about all of them. Here I have Keep Glazed, which is a very fun fruity gourmand that was inspired by this pastry that I was able to see in Milan at Exons. They were presenting how they glazed desserts, and they looked exactly like it. They tasted amazing when you spray it on. It's very fizzy and tart and very sexy. So it's like the sexiest fruity scent ever. Honestly, if I need to pick and choose the sexiest fruity scent, that would be it. The notes of exotic fruits like mango in there, they're just so sparkling and amazing. So if you're looking for a fruity fragrance that would be sexy, that is it, because it literally smells sexy. You know, it's not flirty, it's sexy. But something more everyday friendly is perfume called Live in Colors, and it's great for the summertime. It's like woody, lightly citrusy, slightly exotic, but nothing, you know, too crazy. So yeah, very different kind of scents. And something else that is even more different is Pays d'Agong by Monsiage, fragrance that won Art and Olfaction Awards as Best Handmade Fragrance of, I don't remember which year. And the thing about this one is that it is special because it's very aromatic. You get some herbal notes, a flower of hibiscus, which is rather imaginary, but it totally makes sense to put it in the company of woodsy notes, particularly with vetiver that I'm usually not the biggest fan of, but if I'm in the mood for a good vetiver, that's the most wearable vetiver I own for sure. And one of the most amazing oriental fragrances for the winter time for me is Jury by Kajal, because this one, you guys, is not a joke. It is so warm, it is so heavenly. That sprayer is awesome too. Oh, sweet, the note of honey and spices in there. You'll be transported to some exotic country wearing it, and it is also very mysterious. So I love to wear it if I'm going out, because this fragrance has, you know, like great performance and people notice it, so I always like their attention, and that fragrance helps me with that. Another very beautiful fragrance, but different from Jury, that is so like, oh, I am a star, I'm the main one in this room, is Perfume Blanc de Sisa by Semimi. This fragrance has an amazing story. It was inspired by a woman that was fighting for her rights and raised her daughter somewhere in Egypt. I don't remember the entire one. Benny loves it, and that's not a surprise for me because he's a big fan of gourmand fragrances, and this is gourmand to the max. It smells quite, oh, creamy. Yes, absolutely, very creamy, milky, with beautifully yummy, fruity nuances. So it's like so cozy and gentle, very kind smelling fragrance. Benny likes scents like that. So perfume that is different from that, you can notice that I have very different fragrances. Oh, Musky Milano, is Osmanthus Noble by Exaltatum London. This is definitely for the lovers of fruity fragrances that are like dated and mature and have like depth to them, because Osmanthus is this note that smells leathery and fruity. It's very interesting and fascinating because of its apricot-y leather scent. I don't know where to spray. Okay, I'm covered. maybe here. Yeah, it's golden osmanthus for me personally, very novel, sophisticated. I like to wear it in the autumn time because of its golden color that I have in my head wearing it. And when I smell Bois Fuchsia by Le Parfums Dressing, I definitely think of pink berry colors because this is a berry. Oh, patchouli. It's like a playful berry fragrance with patchouli that makes it more elegant and reminds me a little bit of Rouge Trafalgar by Dior, if you remember that like exclusive expensive fragrance. But honestly, if I own that, I don't need the Dior's fragrance. So on that note, let's move on to January scent project. I have like almost the entire collection. Here are a couple of bigger ones, here are a couple of smaller ones. I don't even know, I'll do it real quick. Smolder Rose is one of the strangest rosy perfumes I've ever smelled because it's metallic, smoky, a little bit oceanic, very, very deep, dark fragrance that won't leave you alone for a long time. You'll be thinking of it and noticing new facets every time you smell it, because John Biebel, who is the very, very creative perfumer, creates always very complex and quite contrasting fragrances. That's why they are a lot of fun to smell. And if you want to meet him, I have an interview with him and also live interview on my Instagram, so if you don't follow me there, please do so. And Vapara Syndrome from him is like spicy lilac, which, you know, is not a common thing. Very, very strong, even overwhelming sometimes, but the projection of his fragrances is insane. One of my favorites from his line, if you asked me, is Dino Deceit, because, you know, it smells like flowers, oh yeah, that grow by the ocean. They're not aquatic, they smell floral, but there is like a saltiness on them, like from a salty breeze that comes from the ocean, plus it's very sexy. And sometimes you can notice me describing fragrances as sexy, and sexy to me can be very, very different. So just take notes what's sexy. Salpernicus is very sexy because guys, imagine cracker with salt, apricot, butter, and a bit of spiciness. I mean, like on the skin, it's irresistible. People would be obsessed with you if you wear it. I always have great reaction on it. Serene was a true challenge for me. It's still one of the most challenging perfumes in my collection. It's very strong, it's overwhelming. There is note of tajatis and some, you know, heliotropy, sort of powdery but like strangely sharp notes, and it lasts on the clothes for days. So I like to try it on like on the third day, it's okay, but in the opening it's too much for me. I would really appreciate your feedback if you're familiar with January Scent Project. But what blew me away is his newest released Orla, that is one of the best fragrances I've smelled in my life, that reminds me of spicy milk and aldehydic flowers and some kind of powdery magic. This is just like my true love. I will even spray a little bit on myself because honestly, nothing can beat it. It's so, so unique. Oh yes, absolutely unique. If I need to recommend you like a top fragrance for my collection, it would be Orla, because it's unique, it's exciting, it's not like everything else out there. I like when people are challenged a little bit, when they can notice new horizons smelling perfumes. I think that's exciting. And I also hold very exciting perfumes in my hand right now from Nishane, once again, amazing brand and amazing perfumes. Africa Oliphant is for the lovers of Animalic perfumes. Believe it or not, although it's smoky and seriously Animalic, I get amazing response to it. So if you are a lover of Animalic perfumes and you want a real deal Animalic fragrance, but the one that would be received nicely by people and will be, oh, so good, like dense, delicious, sexy, almost raw and dangerous, that's the one. But if you prefer floral perfumes, Viola, it's like a hysterical floral fragrance because there is like this floral bouquet, and do you notice the color of the juice? You can expect there all flowers that exist out there. It's very strong, it's very opulent, very heady floral. It's like being in a floral garden on a hot summer afternoon. So with that being said, let's talk about something completely different. I guess I put and place fragrances on the shelves, they're very different. It's not like, oh, here's a floral shelf and here is an oriental shelf. No, no, no. I like, to mix them all together. And next one is a very spicy oriental perfume by Haramain called Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. And Benny loves it. I love it. If you like spicy tobacco fragrances, you will love it as well. Oh, there is nothing not to love about it. It's so deliciously cozy and at the same time sexy, mass appealing. Truly, truly gorgeous, particularly for men. It's unisex. I wear it sometimes too. But on men, there is something that's like truly like, oh, I want you. So with that being said, let's move on to another Benny's favorite, Paradox by 4160 Tuesdays. It was inspired and created for a woman that lost her sense of smell and could smell only violets. So in the opening it's quite sharp, a little bit metallic, patty grain and citrusy notes, but then you quickly notice the iron-ons for the violets and irons for the irisy nuances. If you like purpley fragrances and you want it to be rather sharp and not overly cosmetic-y, powdery, you will like it. That powderiness comes through more in the dry down, but before that you will get a lot of sharpness, which Benny is not the biggest fan of, but once it dries down he gets truly amazed by it. And the one I'm amazed by, it's still like a mystery to me, is Eat Flowers by the same brand, because you guys, this is like a floral fragrance that makes you feel eating flowers and taste their floralcy. That is so yummy and very interesting. It's like tasting something you've never eaten before. Well, from floral to darkness, let's talk about Black Velvet Cafe fragrance. I first didn't like, my mom still doesn't like it because it smells like dirty socks to her. So to imagine how Black Velvet Cafe smells, you need to think about bitter roasted coffee beans and dark dirty woods. This is exactly how it smells, and it is nuclear strong. So with that being said, the final 4160 Tuesdays perfume here is Oh My Soul, which is also my #1 from this brand because it smells like a group hug. Warm, boozy, oriental. It is all you want for the winter time, I promise you. It's the best thing ever, which I blind bought, and it is the most successful blind buy of my entire life. So I have a whole review on it and many other reviews on perfumes I talk about, and here is most anticipated fragrance by all pink lovers, which is Isabella by Royal Crown. It's not as pinky and girly as it looks. I'm also not as girly as I look. It has so much depth. It smells like dated powder alcohol, so it's like alcohol being powdered. Maybe this is a very strange description, but it also smells dated, maybe of florals, maybe something else. Oh yeah, like you would not expect it to smell the way it smells, which I like, that element of surprise about it. And final two I have here are by Quinto. The red one I have here is inspired by Lucrezia Borgia, legendary woman who became famous and went into history like a poisoner because she used different poisons to hypnotize her guests at extravagant parties. And here in the dark blue satin bottle I have Cashmere, pretty heavy wintry perfume. Oh my god, it smells heavy. It smells like a room, it smells like an atmosphere, it smells like a very old ancient room where a lot of perfumes have been sprayed. Warm, hot, definitely a winter fragrance. I wouldn't be able to wear it any other time, but on specific dates and days it's great. But yeah, very wintry. Yay! Let's move on to this shelf. Here I have 3 perfumes by Giovanni Antonelli, 3 fragrances from Haramain, 1 perfume by Memoirs London that we've already spoken about, and 2 fragrances by Tiziana Terenzi, 2 perfumes by amazing Sarah Baker, and 2 perfumes by the House of Oud. Next, 2 fragrances by the Turkish niche brand Regalian. Then 3 fragrances from a French brand, Maison Rebacci, 1 perfume from Australia, another fragrance from Canada, if I'm not wrong, France by M. Micallef, Italy, and France once again. So a very multicultural shelf here. And now let's get more in details about all these, because I gotta be honest with you, almost every single one is my favorite. My entire collection is my favorite. Who am I kidding? So let's start maybe with Giovanna Antonelli's fragrances, shall we? She's a fabulous actress. Actually, when I was little, I used to watch series called Clone, if I'm not wrong, and once I smelled her perfume, I was like, oh my god, this is insane that I was a fan of her as I was little, and then now I'm reviewing her perfumes. Well, anyway, I want to begin with a lighter fragrance that is called 411 Intenso. It's that very friendly, slightly herbaceous floral fragrance, which is exciting, you know, that herbal and floral see with light citrusy notes and just aromatic vibe. It makes you refreshed, which I really love about it. 611 Extremo makes you very sexy and sensually because it's like entering the garden of exotic, tropical, heady, luscious flowers in a full bloom. If you like tuberose and like very seductive floral notes, it's #1 perfume I can recommend because it's not cloying as a lot of fragrances in the style are. That's where I truly enjoyed. I used to wear it non-stop, and I gotta be honest with you, I haven't worn these in a year minimum. But 811 Absoluto is almost like a foodie gourmand with honey, with other interesting notes. I would describe it as edible. So that's Giovanna Antonelli's trio. Very well done fragrances with niche quality. And next we have Haramain's perfume from the Portfolio collection that, in my personal opinion, smells more Western, if you know what I'm talking about. These bottles are just insanely beautiful. The designs, the cap feels extra heavy, so very nice to just, you know, look at and touch. The one I hold in my hand right now is Neroli Canvas, and it's for the lovers of note of neroli. You know, it's a beautiful citrusy floral note with many facets, and in here you get the sharpness of it, the citrus vibe, and the floralcy as well. Another fragrance I have here is Floral Sculpture, once again with that patchouli rose combo. So it smells familiar, it smells like a niche perfume, you know. Fragrances like this smell very niche to me, and it reminds me of Modern Nomad we started this video with. And in the beginning of 2020 I was really amazed by their perfume Royal Stallion. First of all, it's very shiny, it's very like, ooh, so gorgeous. And it's sharply powdery with a lavender note, which you wouldn't expect in a powdery fragrance. And apparently these fragrances are similar to other popular perfumes, but I can tell you I love them, and they are very fitting into my collection. Here I have fragrances that look absolutely stunning, like Memoirs London Temperantia. Something about the color of this bottle, it's almost iridescent, you know, reminds me of the moon, and it's a very, once again, a wearable patchouli rose fragrance, but in here you get a bit of saffron and also peachiness and spiciness. So I don't know how to describe it. It's like one of the easygoing perfumes I can wear on the everyday basis. It's a no-brainer. You know, spray it on and you're ready to go. You know that people will like it, you know that it will make you feel good. So I like fragrances like that, you know. Sometimes I'm in the mood for something special, but sometimes I need just a perfume that will smell expensive and, you know, good for me personally, because I don't like cheap smelling designer fragrances or other, you know, commercial stuff. I prefer something with more depth, like Tiziana Terenzi. Okay, I have here two stunning fragrances. You can notice one is golden with a black cap and another one is a black with a golden cap. And recently I had a huge pleasure to interview Paul and Tiziana in a live chat on Instagram, so please follow me there if you want to meet perfumers and ask them questions. And let's talk about Acrylics first. Oh my god, this is such a powdery heaviness, because it's very heavy and it's sharply metallic. It's like for those very confident people who are confident about their love to powdery perfumes. So that I can tell you about it. And Aphrodite is definitely for the romantic people like me. I personally love the note of lilac. I love it in the perfumery. I love the flower because it blooms in spring, my favorite season. There is something very romantic about it, and this one smells realistically of lilac. That's for I'm reminded of spring, and that's for I really, really love it. So yeah, if you like lilac and powder and you know, everything beautiful, you will enjoy it for sure. It's definitely one of the best Tiziana Terenzi perfumes in my personal opinion. And now we are moving on to English fragrances by Sarah Baker. I love these bottles so much. Every time I show them to the camera, I tell you that the design is fabulous, and both fragrances are super strong. So Charade, inspired by the movie with my favorite iconic actress Audrey Hepburn, is an iconic fragrance created by Andreas Wilhelm from Perfume Sac. This is not a joke. Honestly, I sprayed on Benny. We went to club, danced all night long, and in the morning I could still smell it so strongly on his clothes. So it's an extremely provocative tuberose with the leather. It's a little bit smoky, very, very, I wouldn't call it aggressive, but it's pushy, like me. I'm a pushy, aggressive person. Get to hear that a lot. Well, anyway, Rules of Attraction is a little bit more sophisticated, created by Miguel Matos. It's for the lovers of dirty floral animalics like myself, but you know, it smells of queens and kings of Versailles, so it has more of an intrigue going on than Charade that's like right in your face. And now the House of Oud perfumes. Oh my god, this one, that is Almond Harmony. It's so pretty. Oh my god, it's freakingly amazing, to be honest with you. It opens up with this cosmetic-y, powdery vibe, and it's very almondy and just delicious and just the best thing ever. I need to wear it more often, honestly. Why don't I wear it? Look at my nails. They match the bottle so perfectly. Oh my gosh. Very, very beautiful perfume. If someone loves the note of almonds, which is one of my personal notes, it's a very expensive smelling fragrance with it. But with that being said, let's talk about the fragrance that I don't wear that often, because it's about Vetiver, my least favorite note. I mean, the fragrance is nice. It's like clean white Vetiver, which is an interesting thing overall. But still, it's not necessarily my cup of tea. It's more for the decoration, and in my opinion, it's more masculine. So let's talk about these Turkish fragrances by Regalian Istanbul. I mean, like, the bottles, they are so pretty, so insane. The colors, everything, the images, absolutely gorgeous. And this is from their they have two collections. I have two fragrances from another collection. These ones are very heavy, and they're sort of like about very powerful notes, one of which is one of my favorite notes, iris. So Club of Iris is rooty, earthy type of iris smell. It's powdery, but in this rooty, earthy way. So not cosmetic, girly, powdery, very powerful. And Spade of Vetiver. Once again, Vetiver is not my favorite note, but what I really like about that fragrance is that it smells mineral. It smells almost salty, so that's an interesting facet of Vetiver I've never noticed in other fragrances with it. And on that note, let's move on to French fragrances by Maison Ribacci, one of which is called Musk Panache, and it's a green musk. This is the best way I can describe it. It's see-through, very fresh, green, musky fragrance, super duper unisex. And faux patchouli is this bright, fiery patchouli. It smells, oh my god, lovers of patchouli will love it. It's a little bit rooty and earthy, not that chocolatey type of patchouli, but I still enjoy it. It's atmospheric, you know, it's just like, if you're going out and you wear it, it's very, very nice, because that way it can perform real well. But if you like roses, all the ladies, in my opinion, it's more feminine. Rose Ribacci is a perfectly done rose. I don't even know what to tell you about it. It's romantic, it's lovely, fruity, and very, very rosy. But if you like more vintage smelling perfumes, I'm just obsessed with Fleur de Lilac by Perfumes from Australia. This is an insanely pretty bottle that has this matte finish and a pump on it that creates this vintage retro vibe, and the fragrance smells like that. It has a mysterious nostalgic moment and you can't even define it. It's like you don't have the name on the bottle, so you can't even define the scent. You're just smelling it, you're like, oh, this is something from the past, but you won't think of a specific fragrance wearing it, so there is still some mystery left in there. Let's talk about fragrance that got me right at first sniff. I purchased it because I couldn't imagine my life without Poppy Soma by Perfumes Quartana. The best way to describe it is flowers having sex. Flowers on steroids, flowers that are just out of their mind, powdery, decadent, seductive, sultry, I don't know, very interesting fragrance. And this whole line is inspired by dangerous flowers that are poisonous. So on that note, let's talk about my go-to musky fragrance, probably my musky signature, Royal Musca by M. Micallef. This is a jewel in my collection with Swarovski crystals on it, and it smells a little bit metallic in the opening. It smells like fresh laundry, but later on the skin it really turns musky and irresistible. You will be kind of addicted to it, but it's not this powerful and strong perfume. It's intimate. That's the best way I can describe it to you. And sometimes when I don't know what to wear, I wear it and I'm always good. So if you like spicy perfumes, and I gotta be honest with you, I have a couple of those, but I'm pretty picky with them. I can recommend you these two from my collection by the brand Laboratorio Olfattivo from Italy. If you like sweet spicy perfumes, I recommend you Van Hera. It's the one I wear in the winter as I spray it on my scarves because it's very hugging and comforting, similar to Lune Féline by Atelier des Ors, but it has more vanilla to it. So if you want more vanilla and also spices, that's Van Hera, but if you want more roses and spices, that's Neurosa, because this one smells of roses and pepper, balsams and leather. So on that note, let's talk about the prettiest ballerina perfumes. They are from the French niche brand Les Parfums de Rosine, and they create amazing rosy fragrances. They have roses for any taste. These two are not about roses, they are from the Ballerina collection. Ballerina number 4 is one of the prettiest floral fragrances I own. It's truly fascinating even to me. I'm very experienced, you know, and spoiled with gorgeous fragrances. But something about this one, oh my god, it's like I wish I could stick it in my nose and just walk with it, or just spray it directly in my nose so I could smell it all the time. It's Tuberose with vitamin C. Very interesting citrus powder you can find in that fragrance, which is truly unique in my opinion. I've never smelled a fragrance like it. And their Ballerina number 5 looks truly miraculous. I mean, like, this bottle is so pretty and adorable, golden and satin, matte. I love it. The scent itself is interesting, but it smells like something familiar, maybe a popular fragrance from a commercial brand, but you know, with more depth and mass appealing quality, because I noticed that ladies who are not that experienced with niche perfumes always ask me what I wear when I have this one on. So it's a mass appealing floral fragrance with a lot of power and projection. I wouldn't say it's the most unique fragrance from my collection, but it works, and it works pretty well every single time. Particularly, it's well received by the women. And finally, let's move on to the last shelf on this side. And for a quick overview, I have here Hypnotic Opium by Perfume, Rose Dye, Fine Apple, and Beautiful Eau Fresh by Galahad Fragrances, Wonderly by the House of Oud, a couple of Zoologist perfumes, Eau de Sorel by Naomi Gutzer, Nebula 3 by Oliver & Co, a bunch of DSH perfumes, and then here we have 1015 by Room 1015, Waka by Feel It, Amber Green by Oliver & Co once again, and the Raw of Pana London fragrances, and finally a couple of Strangers of Perfumery. And now for all the details, let's have a closer look at them. Right, so I talk way too seldom on my channel, called Hypnotic Opium, and it smells, you know, like a beautiful, mass appealing perfume for women in a floral style. A little bit shower jelly, fresh, juicy, but oh my god, I wish designer brands created fragrances like this and not that, you know, shower gel water. So it's like a niche fragrance in a designer style, but in a positive way. And my big bottles of Gallagher fragrances are Eau Fresh, which is such an overwhelmingly strong fragrance that smells like green tobacco cigarette smoke with an interesting fruity twist. In there we have black currant, grapes, dry tobacco leaves, sandalwood, orris water, and ambergris. And it smells sharp. It smells like green cigarette smoke with a fruity nuance. Maybe a strange description, but very, very strong. Gallagher Fragrances is known for interesting scents and beast mode performance. His fragrance Rose I'll Die is all that rose gourmand lover wants for the colder weather. Because I'm telling you, it's like a jammy, sweet, boozy, alcoholic rose with notes of apple crisp, plum, dark rose, brown sugar, tonka bean, and stainless steel. You'll be settled for the winter time with it. It's very strong and very like calmingly seductive, which is an interesting way of seduction. And anyway, the one for the summertime that is always amazing, particularly because people are like, oh, what are you wearing? It's a happy scent in a bottle called Pineapple. Beautiful marriage of pineapple and apple with notes of magnolia, green apple, pineapple, jasmine. Whoa, dry woods. Awesome. My bottle leaks. Great. And Musk Ambre. It's like, oh, I'm telling you, it smells like citrusy, fruity candies. Great. I'm literally dropping bottles, damaging the shelves. Great, Yana. It's very late too. Anyway, let's talk about Benny's favorite Wonderly. I'm telling you, my boyfriend is obsessed with this perfume. I mean, for a good reason. It smells like kindness. It smells gentle. It smells clean, milky. So it's not like tonic fatty. It's powdery. You really want to cuddle with this fragrance, or a person who wears it. So it's magnificent. And next I have a couple of zoologist perfumes on the shelf. I have more on the table right there. The ones I have are Moth, which is this, you know, gothic scent of burning sweet flowers in the night. Civet was hated for sniff for me and later turned into a love because I wasn't familiar with Animalic fragrances in the past, and now I can totally appreciate its beauty. It smells vintagey but very modern, sweety, aldehyde-y, you know, seductive, not dangerously Animalic. So great for Animalic beginners, although I used to be one and I didn't like it, but well, anyway, now I like it. And Chameleon, well, that was the worst take on that song ever, is just like this mood enchanter, very happy fragrance in a bottle, powdery, holiday-like. There is nothing not to like about this iridescent, happy fragrance. Right, so I have Eau de Sorel by Naomi Gutzer, which is a colorful oriental perfume that is very sweet and heavy on tobacco, but it's not a simple tobacco. It's tobacco with mango, with other tropical fruits. So I love to wear it when it's autumn time, when it's, you know, like cold enough for a heavy oriental perfume, but at the same time you want that sunny energy. So it's a gorgeous fragrance. I mean, like, it's one of the safest recommendations from me to you if I needed to give you one. Something very extraordinary though is Nebula 3 Veil by Oliver & Co. This fragrance smells, and I'm not kidding, like a storm in a garden. So you can get the herbs that are growing there, like mint and crushed leaves, and the raindrops that are like very powerful, gorgeous fragrance for springtime when it's raining. So on that note, I have a bunch of DSH perfumes. I have more in my room. Check out my room collection tour. I talk about DSH and other stuff I keep in my room that's very good and you can't resist, and I don't wanna go to my studio to wear them. Anyway, the afternoon is a cosmetic-y powdery fragrance. I just like it, so I bought it. I mean, John Spencer Hurwitz, the perfumer of this line, has the style freaking perfumes that I get addicted to, and I want all her 300 fragrances that she offers. Firefly was another love at first sniff. After sampling it, I got it. It was inspired by the time when people used to burn leaves in New York, if I'm not wrong. So it's a beautiful, musky, atmospheric perfume. Hard to describe that one, but easy to describe. Blue Daisy. This is the fizziest, fruitiest, sparkliest, fruity fragrance I know. If you want a super ripe and tart, most importantly tart, fruity perfume, you will get it in Blue Daisy. I have a feeling don't put all fruity notes that exist on the planet in that fragrance, and in the summer it's pure joy. Poppy is an autumnal fragrance, for example, because it smells like harvesting, spicy, peachy, in the style of legendary perfume Mitsoko by Guerlain. They are similar to me. This next one was Blind Bite First Sniff. Just Blind Bite. Le Toit de Vision. It smells like thick, almost oily rose with animalic character. So, I don't know, I love to wear it in the winter time, that's all. I could go on and on and on about it, but if you want more information, you can check out my other videos about these fragrances or websites of these brands. Finally, Il Marinaio da Capri is a green, ethereal, joyful, leafy fragrance for summertime when you want something green. At least that's the time when I want something green. Let's talk about 1015 by Room 1015. Their owner is so amazing, Michael. He's like a rock star and all fragrances are rocky and very cool. This one smells modern. It's one of those fragrances that might confuse people whether is it your perfume or your own skin. It smells modern, woodsy, pheromone-like, and I like it for that. So when I don't wanna like wear a perfume but wear a perfume like a trick, I grab that one. And next I have a natural fragrance by the French brand Fillet called Waka, inspired by Madagascar, and it smells like aromatherapy a little bit, so spiritual, slightly spicy. That's for I like to wear it when it's a bit colder, like in the beginning of the autumn time. It's the perfect time to wear Waka, and the perfect time to wear this award-winning fragrance by Oliver & Co. Amber Green is summer, because it literally smells like a healthy green salad. You get such a vivid note of basil, coriander, galbanum, green pepper, very obvious note of that, and other green notes that it smells like a green bowl that you eat in the summertime. Oh, yeah, amazing, but quite sharp, so I wouldn't wear it anytime, only in the winter. And now 3 fragrances from Pana London. Oh my god, I have so many and I want more. One of them is Gourmands Orange. It's a creamy vanillic chocolate with orange in there, you know, for the exciting moment. Another one which is also chocolatey but rather about dark bitter chocolate with berries and liqueur note, boozy, absolutely irresistible. If you like gourmand perfumes and chocolate and you don't have that perfume, you're lucky that you found this video. My summer fragrance from this brand is Icy Citrus, because it smells cooling. Literally, it smells like ice. So that's indeed an icy citrus. And the next one is for those who crave Milka chocolate. Who remembers the one with a taste of a strawberry cheesecake? This is exactly how it smells. I did an experiment. I bought the chocolate and smelled it and tasted it and then sprayed the perfume, and they are the same. It's literally strawberry cheesecake in a bottle. Finally, I have here the sexiest woodsy clean fragrance by Pana London called Neroli Woods. It smells like neroli, but it smells like neroli on a sexy skin. So basically you took a bunch of flowers and you just smashed them against your skin. Very, very sexy. I had never thought that woody citrus perfumes can be sexy, but apparently they can. Okay, I have a bunch of strangers perfumery here. Arun Savat was inspired by the morning in Thailand, if I'm not wrong. That's where Prima Rose, the perfumer behind this line, is from. And I have an awesome interview with him. Check out the link on the screen to meet Prin live. It's a beautiful, fresh, like juicy, amazing floral fragrance with lily and bergamot, tuberose, incense, golden mango, pomelo. I smell those fruity notes in there for sure. So it's for lovers of fruity, juicy fragrances. But if you like fougères, I was pretty much amazed by this one called Le Mau Garçon, probably mispronounced the name, with lavender, tobacco, spruce, pine, alamy, oak moss, coumarin, vanilla, orris, hay, and alamy. It's something special. It's not like your typical fougère. It has this piney addition that makes it more intriguing. Even I liked it, although I don't like fougères. And SM cafes for those baddies around you who like leather and coffee. Oh my god, you'll be definitely in SM cafe wearing that. You don't even need BDSM. And salted green mango is a big favorite of many people in the community because it smells like green mango. So with a hint of salt in there, that definitely makes it unique. And Sangre Dulce is jammy, sticky, floral, dated, voluptuous, mature type of a fragrance in almost like Lancôme style, with maple, brown sugar, honey, rose water, blood orange, pomegranate, strawberry, ylang ylang, civet, and a bunch of other notes. You'll smell like you know, you're somewhere in Hollywood just enjoying the most extravagant party ever. So guys, now we are done with this side of my collection, so let's move on to another one and start on the top shelf, where you can see some Quinto perfumes in golden and silver bottle, gorgeous perfumes by Maison Violet right there, and also Italian fragrances from the brand DFG 1924, golden mirror bottle from Premier Note, and also very interesting bottle from Angela Champagne. I will tell you a special story about. I have Amor Oud's Dark Orchid there, and also very realistic rose fragrance behind another rose fragrance right here. Fougère that smells unlike any other fougère and looks as if it was in the museum. Fiery Peppery Rose by Terenzi, very beautiful vanilla fragrance by Il Profumo. Widian's fragrance inspired by London, natural floral fragrance by Micallef. These three that are, I'm telling you, I'm speechless when I look at them. They are on the top shelf for a reason. And finally, more of Sarah Baker perfumes that are very atmospheric. So let me tell you more about them. So now, being done with the right side of my collection, I'm wondering how many fragrances you have now on your wish list. While you're commenting them below, I'm moving on to the left side and getting started with Sarah Baker's fragrances that both were created by Sarah McCartney from 4160 Tuesdays. So what is similar about these fragrances is that they are very atmospheric, but they will transport you to a different place. Tartan, for example, is the scent of Scottish mountains. There you can smell everything woody, earthy, and herbal, but once you are back to earth, you smell the beautiful bar where you get something delicious to drink that will warm you up. And Atlant is a different kind of scent because it smells like seaside. It's basically an oceanic fragrance, and you will smell the seaweed, the seashells, the sea breeze, and watery saltiness in it. By the way, it was also nominated for Art and Fashion Awards. So here you go, very transportive atmospheric perfumes from Sarah Baker. Next we have fragrances by Bijon Perfume. This is a German brand with superb quality fragrances that were created by Cecilia Zarokian, and once again, she is one of my most favorite perfumers. Her style is unbeatable. She creates very expensive, rich and opulent perfumes, and the one that every lover of vanilla fragrance will enjoy is Aura Sublime, because it smells of powdery and just truly irresistible vanilla. I mean, vanilla is one of the best notes ever, and if you want vanilla to be very expensive and rich smelling, as if you paid $1,000 for your perfume, that's it. I wear it on special occasions because, you know, although it's very, very long lasting because it's extrait de parfum, so it's highly concentrated, I just treasure it very much, as I treasure All Eyes on Me. By the way, guys, this is one of my most favorite perfumes that I'm guilty not talking about very often on my channel, but I wear it quite a lot, and every time I have it on, people ask me what it is because it is extremely strong. I can smell it on my clothes for days, and first time I smelled it was in London, so I have amazing memories with this spicy, fruity, very boozy fragrance that you will fall in love at first sniff. At least I did, and it was also nominated for Art No Faction Awards, so there is something very special about it. It's unlike all the other spicy fragrances out there, probably because it smells of spicy, boozy alcohol. And something lighter from this range is Menthe Freud, which smells like toothpaste a little bit, but it's very refreshing for the summertime because it's so cooling. Right, so let's talk about this natural fragrance by Animalic that smells girly and flirty, very innocent and mass appealing. It's like powdery flowers that grow in your garden. You can't really define it, but you just enjoy this floral bouquet overall. And I like it on the everyday basis. What I wear with caution is Whittian's London. This perfume is about tobacco and raspberry. That is a very successful notes combo, and although it is leaning towards masculine side, I still like it sometimes, but I need to be very careful with the application because sometimes it can be too much because it is in a beast mode. And next fragrance I can overspray and be good with is Vanille Bourbon by Il Profumo, which is one of my favorite wintertime vanillas that Benny loves a lot on me, so I like the fact of that. It's basically just a vanilla fragrance for those who want vanilla and nothing else. Next is Porpora by Tiziana Terenzi. This is a red gem of my collection without a doubt. It smells very spicy in the opening, but basically, wow, this is a sharp incensey rose in Terenzi style. And we had the most amazing live chat with Paul and Tiziana on my Instagram about Porpora as I unboxed it and other very interesting things, so please follow me on Instagram. But I like Porpora when I'm going out because it's so intense, it's too much to wear it indoors. But I like this perfume Invasion Barbare anywhere I am. By the way, just look at this bottle, isn't it just truly stunning? I'm not the biggest fan of fougères. They are too sharp, too old-fashioned, sometimes even barber shoppy. To me, that one is so mysterious and so, I would call it a fougère masterpiece. I don't wear it very often, but if I'm in the mood for a fougère, I know that I can rely on that. And if I'm in the mood for minty rose, I don't have many of those, so I always grab Rose Mint by Francesca Del Oro because it smells like rose garden in the near of the sea, because it's salty and rosy at once. So let's talk about Quinto fragrances that are golden and silver. They are created with this special golden something technique, so it's like a mirror. This is pure luxury with Terenzi. I don't know how they came up with their presentation, but it's very successful, that's for sure. Temptatio is truly recognizable Terenzi perfume because it has their signature fruity note. Psyche is perfume that will make you go crazy for sure. It has like a little link with Baccarat Rouge, probably that's that mossy nuance, but in here you won't find those medicinal sharp notes of Baccarat. Instead, it's like pure powder moss, very, very sexy. It's like a very sheer and sexy dry down of Baccarat Rouge, and those who like oud and rose combo need to check out Posy. Every time I wear it, it's a thick rose oud. Oriental and very typical for Terenzi because their oudy perfumes are unbeatable. It performs like crazy. Even with the tiniest spritz, you will notice it all day long. And I know that people always comment on it because it smells very expensive. Literally, as if you spent a fortune on it. So if you want a well-performing rose oud perfume, that's Posy. And if you want very elegant fragrances, I have two from the French brand Maison Violet with amazing history, and it was reborn by three talented French friends who met at the perfume school, fell in love with the history of this brand, rebought it, and relaunching the collection. So I have Purple d'Automne, which is a must-try for all lovers of violet fragrances that smell like lipstick. It is purple magic in a bottle. And another one, Un Air d'Apogée, smells a little bit like candy tobacco with mimosa and hay for that aromatic vibe. Very, very massive feeling. Every time I have it on, I receive a compliment. And this brand used to be suppliers for queens and princesses, and it's very eco-friendly nowadays. So if you want expensive fragrances with a good cost, check out this brand, and I have a discount code for you with which you can save some money. Please check out the description box for more helpful information regarding discounts and also other reviews and information about perfumes, of course. More fragrances that tell love stories. These two are, I love them. I love them. For example, La Baie de Jasmine is creamy jasmine, which is so seldom these days. Jasmine can be indolic or heavy or cloying, which I hate about it. It's like that perfect jasmine. When I wear it, people are like, oh, Yana, what is this perfume? They like jasmine because it's so opulent, but they are always surprised that that is jasmine because it doesn't smell like jasmine. It smells like innocent love, if that makes sense. Next one, Il Sentiero del Gide, smells more decadent. It smells very powdery, sweet, irisy. So if you are more of a romantic soul, I think that the jasmine one will be good for you. But if you like more power, the second one is gorgeous. It's a very beautiful collection overall. And with that being said, I mean, like this bottle, insane, and insane indeed. It's sharp, very, I would say, overwhelming winter amber perfume that is great when it's cold, but it's appropriate only for the winter time. Otherwise, I'm always overwhelmed by it. And this next fragrance I bought a while ago because I was mesmerized by the perfume Rosarium that was inspired by the window in some old Catholic church in Italy, where this brand is based, and it smells windy to me, which might be a strange description. So I know that there are carrot seeds in there, very interesting rose element. It doesn't smell rosy. It smells slightly spicy, but in a unique way. Probably that's why I bought it, because I mean, like, sometimes I'm addicted to fragrances and I just can't resist them. It's definitely the case with the Rosarium. It's not churchy, but it's spiritual. And finally, I have two fragrances, one of which is Amor Oud, Dark Orchid. It is similar to Black Orchid by Tom Ford, but way nicer. In Tom Ford's fragrance is some element that I can stand, and this is like that dark, plummy, sexy orchid, you know, because it's so hypnotic kind of scent. And something different is Tea Rose by Perfume's Workshop, because it smells like real tea rose in your garden, with a stem, with a leaf. You need to love roses to enjoy it, but if you love roses, if that's your favorite flower, you will be obsessed with it. It's very strong too, and very, very rosy. True rose. We are getting down, and here I have three perfumes by Haramain from the June collection. They're so amazing, very powdery. We'll tell you in a second all about them. These two perfumes are by the brand Jacques Fath that I discovered for myself in Ukraine for the first time. Here's another French perfume that is called Upper 10 for Her. It's like
Oh, very, very delicious. These two are delicious as well, from the Turkish brand we've already spoken about, Regalian, Istanbul. It's an exclusive Chapard perfume with neroli and cardamom, and these are Italian perfumes by Perfume del Forte, one of which Benny is going crazy about. Here are more January scent project perfumes. Really love the color of these juices. Then we have my signature scent perfume by Majda Bikali that smells like a dream. That was Love at First Sniff for me by Fortin Manle, brand from Australia. Absolutely miraculous fragrance by Miguel Matos about cinnamon and rose. Fragrance by Jeroboam that was inspired by a Ukrainian woman like me. And then one of my favorite Dusita fragrances is in here, my collection of Russian fragrances by Esquisse Parfum with Swarovski crystals. And finally, perfume by Monte Carlo in an amazing bottle called Omega. Let's talk about them in details.
Alright, so all the lovers of powdery perfumes, you will adore June collection by El Haramain. These three are brilliant, particularly if you love powdery scents. So let's talk about El Haramain June Parfum. It smells of slightly aldehydic powder, so it's like makeup powder with aldehydes. Next, there is June Rose. It's personally my favorite. It's clean and powdery. It also smells like makeup, but I like it more than maybe a little bit mature June. June Rose has more of a playful character. I like to wear it when I am on a date with Benny, when I'm going out. I know that it's very mass appealing, and these bottles are also very, very pretty. The June Noir is a little bit different from two previous ones. I would say this is the most makeup-y one, which I like. I like makeup-y perfumes. There is a beautiful sweetie, almost like amaretto, or not boozy, but slightly drunken, tipsy floral note. So it's basically a lovely line to discover for all the lovers of powdery perfumes. And if you like more airy and more graceful perfumes, Jacques Fath, amazing line, amazing bottles. This is another one of those French brands that used to be huge back in the days, and then due to many crises disappeared from the market and reborn nowadays. Rosa Epiquero. I showed it to my sister as I was in Ukraine. She was like blown by it. It's fruity, sparkling, tart, sexy, provoking fruity scent. It's not an easy one. It's not a simple one. It's with a lot of mystery and provocation in the sexy way. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's very, very beautiful. Tuberose that's fruity and daring. So another very different one is Lilas Exquisite. It smells like lilac, and you've already heard, I love lilac. It smells watery, as if lilacs were under the rain, pretty typical situation for April weather. So those are my Jacques Fath fragrances. Upper 10 for her by the brand Lubin is what Benny goes crazy about. We were in Switzerland and tested a lot of fragrances there. He was amazed only by this one, which is not that surprising for me, because this is a chocolate gourmand. Oh yes, that doesn't smell like foodie chocolate, it's kind of edible, but at the same time perfumey, and I like that quality about it. It also has like a berry twist in there, but I think it just adds more of a playful character to the perfume. It's still on the chocolatey side. So let's move on to Regalian's fragrances, one of which is white gold. I'm telling you, this is a treat in a bottle. It is so yummy. You can't resist. I think if you'd smell it in the shop, you'd be like, okay, I need it. It has like a candy note of pear. Reminds me a little bit of Jean Paul Gaultier's La Belle, which is one of the newest fragrances, with like sugary pear, but this one has more complexity to it. Another one I have here is Babel's Heaven. This is another sweetie composition from them. I would call it a happy scent. It smells a little bit commercial, but once again, commercial in the way mass appealing. So something very positive, I can surely tell you about it. This is a fabulous line. They have mass appealing and at the same time very like posh, intense fragrances. Chapard's exclusive perfume Neroli a la Cardamom de Guatemala is a beautiful neroli. It's potent, you know, not too much to say about it. If you like neroli, you will like it. I like neroli, so I like it. Let's talk about Profumo del Forte fragrances. Toscanello. You've probably already heard Benny raving about it. He's in love with it. It smells to Benny like childhood. I don't know why. I mean, like, there is note of milk, but there are also coffee beans, there is honey, there is caramel. It's a thick gourmand. This is edible. This you would rather drink than smell, but believe me, to wear it is pure joy as well. Next, which is Mythical Woods, is that dark nargamotha type of perfume. It smells sexy, but also a little bit foresty for the lovers of woodsy fragrances. So with that being said, let's move on to the front row and talk about January Scent Project perfumes in a 30 ml format. Bourvuvu, look at the color of the juice. Can you see it? This is a very saturated patchouli with mushrooms, unique, 100%. I like it a lot. It's not overly foresty. I would say it's a sexy vegetal, but very, very sexy for sure. It's not like that, you know, atmospheric, but not necessarily wearable type of foresty fragrance. There is something in there, I can't remember, that makes like this whole aroma being just insane. You smell it, not like me now after smelling 100 other perfumes, but just like when you test the line, get samples. If you like fougères, you like lavender, you like pine, and you like chocolate, you will find all of that in Ida Rentler. It's like eating a chocolate bar entering a lavender forest. Can you imagine forest where it grows wild lavenders? If there was such a place, it would smell like Ida Rentler. So with that being said, Je fais au rêve by Majda Bekali is my dreamy signature scent. It smells so sexy. It smells like skin, but not in Aizu super woodsy way. It's almost spicy. It's like papyrus, like thin wood and human skin and maybe like salty sweat on it. I don't know, maybe I'm out of my mind, but I swear in the summer, that's the sexiest thing you can imagine. Now let's talk about 14 month fragrances, and let me begin with, how is it actually called? Yeah, Sultan Mehmet, it's so late, honestly, forgive me. I fell in love with it right at first sniff. It was in Berlin where I tested it because it wasn't nominated for Art and Olfaction Awards, and it's still one of those mysterious fragrances to me. I don't know how to describe it. It's magic. You know, sometimes perfumes just smell magical. That's the case with that one. Amber absolutely is I would say this is a fun amber. Don't get me wrong, it's intense. It's very, it's delicious. It's not a typical amber. Once again, there is something that makes all 14 month perfumes very unique, and people like them for that mysterious element. I wasn't the biggest fan of ambery perfumes until I found that one. I can surely tell you that. Okay, Miracle of Roses by Miguel Matos has a very interesting story because it was inspired by the scent queen of Portugal that used to feed poor people and help them with food. She was forbidden to do that, and one day as she escaped the castle, king noticed that and asked her what she has in her dress, and she told him that were roses. And as he told him to show, she unfolded the dress, and she had bread in there and roses fell on the floor. So that was like a miraculous transformation. Miguel was inspired by creating this foodish, spicy cinnamon in the opening, later bready, foodie gourmand. I like that there is actual noticeable note of bread, but also milkiness and powderiness to the note of rose. It's insanely strong perfume. That I can promise you. If you like strong perfumes and you like roses and powdery stuff, and you want just to be, you know, like this walking, not spiritual, it has so many elements to it. You just need to experience it if you want. Vona, which means she in Ukrainian, by Haramain, was inspired by Ukrainian ladies. It was like a whole project when they collaborated with a Ukrainian brand and they made research which fragrances Ukrainian women love, and they came up with a very powerful and classy white floral scent. It reminds me a little bit of J'adore by Dior, but this one is 10,000 times stronger. And you know, it smells like cool white flower, so I like it. I'm Ukrainian and I like it, so well done. Fleur de Lolita by Dosita is one of the best jasmine perfumes. It's creamy and ethereal, and at the same time it has like addictive sweetness to it, so that's lovely. Okay, and here I have some Russian fragrances by the brand Esquisse Parfum. One of them is Wisteria, that smells, you know, like a heady, opulent wisteria bush that smells in the middle of the summer. Laneige smells like winter flowers under the snow. So if you like snowy elements, you will enjoy it. If you like winter, Christmas time, you will like Advent. You know, it's that holiday season when everyone eats candied fruits and cookies, but it has, you know, some oriental sea, leather and patchouli to it. Actually, I was the inspiration for that fragrance. I came up with the notes. So next to Marie, which is like a spicy pear, very unique, a little bit sharp and tart. It's like you want to bite into it, but it tastes a little bit sour, so interesting. And Soleil Noir, oh god, I loved it. If you like sweet balsamic notes, it's all you need in your life. It smells sunny, but it has truly oriental character. And finally on the shelf we have Omega by Mendita Rosa, that smells like dusty vanilla. If you don't like foodie sweet vanillas and you would like vanilla to be woody and dry, that is Omega. I love this brand so very much, but it is very, very expensive for me.
Right, so what do we have on this shelf? Well, those are Paris Monte Carlo perfumes, House of Oud fragrances, very special fragrance that has special story, special scent I will tell you about in a second. Perfume Dino DC that smells like pheromones in a bottle by Tiziana Terenzi. Fragrance by Guerlain that smells like winter. Jovoy Paris perfumes, very interesting one by Yelenia. And one of the best musky rose fragrances, pink perfume from Mia Shinma. Gorgeous Amicala fragrances, very dense and high quality perfumes by Strange Love New York City. This neon bottle I've been wanting to tell you about for a long time. Some Indult Paris perfumes and Renier's trio.
And so, let me show you 3 perfumes from Paris Monte Carlo. 2 of them are in the black bottles and one is sort of in a see-through one. But I want to start with a black bottle, and the perfume is called Tuberose Absolute. Well, this is that carnal plasticky tuberose that, once again, I love to wear in the summertime. I'm a big fan of opulent perfumes when it's hot. Probably a strange thing to do. But I love how carnal it smells. It's a little bit spicy too, so it's Rich tuberose absolute for sure, for lovers, not haters of tuberose. But actually I discovered my love for tuberose with this scent. So maybe if you're having hard times with this, yes, challenging note, you might want to smell this fragrance because it's really beautifully done. This is an awesome rose from them. This is like tuberose and rose, a rose de Taif. It's a very strong rose. You'll get like a rose flower vibe out of it, rose oil vibe out of it. It's a very strong rose, yes, slightly sweet. So with green citrusy but also sweet gourmand elements. But I wouldn't say it's a gourmand fragrance, it's floral. And the final one I have here is Mandarina di Sicilia. As you can notice, it's from a different collection. There a bunch of citrusy fragrances, and this is my favorite. It doesn't smell like a winter mandarin, which is so surprising because normally when I smell mandarin in the perfumery, I think of Christmas time. That's like a childhood association for me. But this is actually a beautiful, fresh, clean mandarin for the summertime. Finally, I have an appropriate summer fragrance because usually people wear something, you know, fresh and light when it's hot, and Tiana goes for her intense ones. But with that being said, more House of Oud perfumes. Who can get enough of them? Definitely not me. Alright, so this one that is called Just Before is interesting because it smells like anise. It smells a little bit like minty herb. So it's interesting, but it's not like my number one. I definitely prefer this fragrance The Time that has almost like a woody tea note to it. So it's like a mix of green and black tea. Great for the summertime, great for the time when you want an aromatic, grounding, relaxing perfume. So with that being said, Eau de Vie is inspired by the legendary Edith Piaf. It has a note of vanilla, popcorn. You smell popcorn, believe it or not. It's like literally going to the cinema, watching musical or just vintage movie with Edith Piaf. There is heartbreak in this perfume. It's heartbreakingly beautiful. The story of Edith Piaf is just, you know, for the time when you're depressed and you want to cry, but that fragrance is a masterpiece, one of the gems from my collection, hands down. So next is this sexy perfume by Tiziana Terenzi called Dionisio. This is basically vanilla with ambergris. It's similar to Alu Jan by Kajal, we've already spoken about, but it's less dirty. So on that note, we are moving on to the wintry perfume, Musk Noble by Guerlain. That smells wintry to me because I bought it in winter. It has aldehydic note to it. Aldehydes to me smell snowy, so it's like snowy, aldehydic, musky rose perfume. Very posh, clean, and even strict fragrance that I wear on special occasions or snowy winter days if we get any. So next two fragrances are by Je Vois Paris. Well, this is a very important line. Gardez-moi is a fabulous floral fragrance in the French style with an unexpected, almost like aquatic melon twist. You wouldn't think gardenia has, but since this flower has this fruity aspect, it's interesting that it smells of like watery melon to me. That perfume, Remember Me, that was created by Cecilia Zarokian, so we mentioned her a couple of times on this channel, in this video in particular, is honestly most delicious, creamiest chai latte with cardamom in a bottle. Must have for colder weather, hands down. And the final fragrance on the, you know, like that raw is Ladong's Alinea Gold. This fragrance is like, it smells slightly like vacation. I haven't worn like in such a long time. You might smell a fragrance like it in a boutique. I don't know why I have this association with an expensive boutique, but sometimes when you enter boutique where only expensive fashion is sold, it might smell like that, very expensive in there. So I like how atmospheric it is, you know, it's not like, oh, I smell those and those notes. No, it's just perfume for the time when you wanna feel extra. So 3 perfumes I have by Renier are Behik, that smells of bitter woods. It's extremely dark, sappy, foresty, mysterious, very deep. Perfume Delirious instead is rather fun. It has interesting fruity elements mixed with some, what was that? I don't remember. It's a very interesting perfume. I have an entire video about it, but my favorite is Oud Rain, basically because it's like wearable and most interestingly juicy summer oud. So as you know, oud is very expensive and rich smelling woody note, and sometimes it's just heavy, you know, and this is beautiful rainy summer oud, for which I really appreciate it. Next we have 2 perfumes by Indult Paris. One of them is Manakara. This is a perfume of a Turkish dessert, lokum. It is so sweety, delicious, gourmand. It's like sugared, thick floral petal with, you know, like lokum powder on it. Oh, I'm hungry. Tihote by Indult Paris is vanilla, 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 a little bit of musk and more vanilla. So as you guessed, for vanilla lovers, who I am. Next fragrance, Rosamonda, is by JUS in a neon bottle. This is a neon rose. It's like a lychee rose. You know, lychee, the fruit, and you know, rose, the flower. Well, this is like the marriage of those two. It's a beautiful summer rose because it has this freshness to it, and it is also a unisex rose, so it doesn't smell overly girly. It smells like a punk rose. So on that note, let's talk about some expensive fragrances by Strangelove New York City, one of which, Dead of Night. Oh, this perfume smells like mastic oil. It smells very oily, very thick, very resinous. Yeah, interesting. Lost in Flowers. What can I tell you about it? If you like floral perfumes, you will like it. I definitely enjoy it because it has this resinous vibe to it. Next we have here Desire Toxic by M. Micallef, which is one of my US discoveries. It smells a little bit fougere-like, although technically it's not a fougere. A little bit masculine, aromatic perfume with spices and mysterious touches. Gorgeous for going out occasions. I wore it a couple of times myself, but I prefer it on a man. Another fragrance is also by M. Micallef, and it is called... I don't remember. Can you believe that? I believe that's Royal Musca Intense. It's way muskier and rosier than Royal Musca I've already told you about, and I like it for that. With the Royal Musca, you need to wait for the power to come through, when with the Intense one, you get it right away. Next is a pink magic called Sakura by Mia Shinma. She is from Japan, if I'm not wrong, and this perfume smells like sakura. I've never smelled sakura blossom, but I imagine it to smell like this. It smells like pink blossom, powdery, just like a miracle to wear it. I know that the feeling, I remember the feeling wearing it. It's indescribably beautiful. Odora Femina, final fragrance on that shelf, is another pinky fragrance, but with thicker, texture. Oh, stop. Don't enter my boudoir. This is how it smells. It smells confident. It smells very oily, musky, rosy, but with pepper, you know, like with this twist, with this jazz. So it's very, very feminine. It's really a feminine odor, for sure. Now, the bottom shelf. We are almost done. I'm so sorry for this video to be this long. Let's talk about Galvin perfumes. All fragrances from this brand are inspired by different cities they're called after. For example, here is Los Angeles, very avant-garde floral fragrance with aquatic, mossy elements. My colleagues laugh on me. Berlin is like this cozy green fragrance with warmth. It's truly amazing, way better than the actual city. I don't like Berlin that much. Brooklyn. After smelling this perfume, I want to go there because it's another happy fragrance that smells of creamy orange. You won't believe that orange can be creamy, but that's what this fragrance proved to me. It's creamy, amazing, delicious orange. Smells a little bit like orange yogurt candies I had in my childhood. And final one I have is Amsterdam. Well, this is nothing like the city where you smell weed on every street. No. It smells like some cuddly, magical aroma. You can't really, like pinpoint. You're like, just stay with me forever. Very, very good. If you're in the mood for hugs, that's the fragrance for you. Now, imaginary authors. Let's do it real quick because I have a whole video on that. The Cobra and the Canary perfume with the lemon, tobacco flowers, orris, leather, hayfields, and asphalt. Smells like you're driving in a car with windows down on the beautiful summer afternoon, and you can smell the leather seats and beautiful hay coming from the field. Oh Unknown is one of the best tea and orris fragrances, since I adore both notes and powdery perfumes, and this one has that endless depth. It's one of my biggest favorites, maybe even #1 from this beautiful creative brand. Sundrunk is all I love to wear in a hot weather when it comes to citrusy perfumes, because it smells like a juicy summery cocktail in a bottle. One of the newest releases is Telegrama. Well, this one is interesting because it smells like talc powder, but with a scent of lavender, which you wouldn't expect from the note of lavender. But yes, it can smell powdery. So that was pretty fascinating to discover that facet in that fragrance. The Soft Lawn is a perfume that smells like a beautiful summer tennis court where you're practicing, your tennis skills. A little bit rubbery, a little bit green. I personally really love it. Whispered Myths smells like that, I don't know, woody fragrance that reminds me of socks a little bit, but it's very high quality. I actually blind bought it. Can't really tell you that I am head over heels about it, but it works sometimes when I'm in a mood for it. And Slow Explosion is metallic, almost blood-like smelling rose fragrance with an interesting green apple note. So that was basically a quick roundup of my imaginary author perfumes. Let's talk about Santi Burgas Palindrome 3 fragrance that smells of beautiful osmanthus cocktail. So it's slightly boozy, powdery because of osmanthus, leathery, apricot-y, but I like it for the boozy touch, which definitely makes it very special for me, and unlike many other osmanthus fragrances. Here are 3 perfumes by Blackbird. I like their fascinating, fun, not giving a fuck fragrances. Anemone is what people go crazy about. When I wear it, people love to wear it. People are like, oh, when you smell it, I'm telling you, smell it. Go ahead, test it, blind buy it. Tobacco with honey, champagne, and some other cool notes I can't remember. It's wonderful. Plum is in there. Beautiful, unique, but truly addictive. Broken Glass is like this strange fragrance to me because it smells of bitter almonds and sort of like herbal notes. It's fresh and it is comforting, which I like about it, but it's not my favorite to wear. But Y06-S is definitely something not only creative because it smells like overheated TV and bananas, but also very pleasant to wear it. I never smelled a fragrance like it, so no, I like when fragrances are unlike anything else out there. Let's talk about natural fragrance Kuro by the brand Dessert from Asia. It smells like a citrus rose. Citrus rose. If you like scents like that, you will like it. Next I have 5 perfumes by Stranger's Perfumery, all inspired by LGBTIQ, and one particular movie, I can't remember the name, I will put on the screen. I watched it because of this collection, because I loved it. I cried and loved the movie, highly recommend it to everyone. Oliver was the main character in it, and this is such a sexy, fresh fragrance for the summertime. That smells like your skin, but you know, like with mojito and apricot nuances. There is a note of cypress, mandarin, sea salt, tobacco, magnolia. If you watch the movie and you see the Oliver, this is a perfectly fitting fragrance for his character. George is an intensely tobacco fragrance with spicy nuances, with hay absolute, with note of peat, with patchouli and gardenia. So it's a darker composition for the darker moods and days. Virginia was inspired by Virginia Woolf. It smells like wild flowers in the field under the rain. This is exactly how it smells. You even get a little bit of the soily note in there, which by the way I don't mind, although I'm not the biggest fan of it in the perfumery. Anyway, Saint Clement is a beautiful red wine with a cherry and tobacco cigarette kind of fragrance. Espresso note in there makes you kind of like woke up. Very interesting if you like chocolate, wine, and tobacco. And finally, Burning Band. This fragrance with patchouli, castoreum, plum, tobacco, and leather is similar to this one, but with less booze. And finally, guys, we're almost done. Let's talk about a couple of my Montals. What do I have here? And here I have my major favorites, Vanilla Absolute and Chocolate Gritty. Both extremely edible, foodie gourmands. Chocolate Gritty was probably my love at first sniff, the first fragrance I tested by Montal that smells like chocolate and sugared citruses. Amazing. Vanilla Absolute I discovered in Ukraine, carved myself into it, and people went crazy about my fragrance. Everyone asked me what I wear. So that's an amazing thick vanilla for the summertime. I have summer and winter vanillas. Oud Shiny is that like patchouli, rose oud, nothing special, like typical Montal fragrance. I have 5 perfumes by Grandiflora. This is an Australian brand, if I'm not wrong. Maybe they're from New Zealand. Oh my god, totally out of my mind. Alright, 5 fragrances by the florist. So I'll try to do a quick collection overview for you, and I want to start with a perfume called Magnolia. They have 2 ones that were designed by different perfumers. One of them, called Michelle, is this clean, elegant, beautiful type of white floral scent with magnolia in its heart. Another one is very different, Magnolia Cendrine, because it smells a little bit like marijuana. It smells heady, it smells very, very cool. Benny is a big fan of it, and the Michelle one smells a little bit snowy to me, and Cendrine smells a little bit sharp and marijuana, so very unexpected nuances in floral fragrances you can notice. Next we have Madagascan Jasmine, which smells twiggy, so it's like young jasmine flowers on, you know, these delicate twigs. So I've never experienced, you know, like green twiggy jasmine, because normally jasmine fragrances are pretty heavy. This one is not, you know, like opulent floral. Boronia. Boronia is a very exotic flower, and it smells velvety. Does that make sense? When I smell this perfume, it smells a little bit tea-like, with gorgeous warmth of cognac and velvety flowers. The final one is Queen of the Night, which is this opulent, over-the-top sort of a fragrance, you know, for fatal-like ladies who want perfume with a lot of power and a lot of, you know, like recognizable factor. So you enter the room and you're like, oh, who is there? Smelling so gorgeous. That's how it smells to me, at least. These next 3 fragrances are by Printemps Rose. They're called Emerald Fruits. They are truly in Prince style, Kinari and Chopraya Sunrise, and they are very similar to the ones from Stranger's Perfumery. After he finished his Perfume brand, he launched Stranger's Perfumery. So yeah, those are fragrances that we've already spoken about. Let's move on to an award-winning fragrance from Scandinavia by Linda Lundberg that is called Lavender and Wool, and it smells very cozy, of cacao with lavender, so it's a little bit herbaceous, but sort of chocolatey, but on the bitter side, and you're covered into the woolen blanket reading some books while it's raining or snowing outside. So this is a great brand. I've mentioned other her fragrances in my room collection video, check that out. And here we have something rare for my collection, a woody fragrance from the brand Oblique called Bohemian Woods. And there is something very cool about it. You know why? Because it smells metallic and warm at once. So it's an avant-garde woody perfume. I wouldn't say that it is similar to other woody fragrances on the market, and I definitely need to build up a woody collection. So if you like that idea, give this video a thumbs up. Also give me a thumbs up for, you know, powering through, although I know it's a very long video in the end, but what do you want? How many fragrances did you count, huh? Anyway, this fragrance we have here, Miss Tuberose by Antiqua Firenze, has a very interesting and fitting name, because to me this is actually a very I sprayed it right in my face. Help, help. Okay, my face smells of shy tuberose, thanks God, not of a carnal well. So you get, sorry, I can't even speak properly, you get the character of real tuberose, but it's shy, it's not overly, you know, seductive. I think it's great for beginners of tuberose, or for those who are looking for a beautiful, airy, but at the same time, you know, fragrance with some secret. So on that note, finally, my God, I can't even believe we are gonna complete this video with fragrances from Sarah McCartney's project Our Modern Lives. There are two fragrances that are completely synthetic, and you can layer your perfumes with them. I believe these are just single molecules mixed with alcohol, like Iso is Super and stuff. I bought both because I liked that idea, and the rest are all natural fragrances. The one I have here, actually this is a body spray if I'm not wrong. Look at this illustration, isn't it adorable, with cucumbers? Oh, I got it right in my mouth. I need to sleep. It's really late in the night, I'm telling you, it's like 1 a.m. or something. It smells of cucumbers. Yeah, green cucumbers in your garden. So yeah, I got some alpha, some beta to layer my cucumber with, but overall that's all. Can you believe I'm like a zombie by the end of this video? Oh, thanks God it's over. Yeah guys, it's over indeed. I hope you enjoyed watching this super requested video. I thought maybe I need divide it into two parts like I did with my rum collection, but it wouldn't be the same, so you might want to re-watch it or some certain parts of it next time. I hope you got like an overview and little reviews on all fragrances, not quite all I have. Stay tuned for the third part, there are so many other cool fragrances coming up, also a designer perfume collection. But yeah, and by the end of this video I want to give those who watch it till the end a bonus and choose top 10 fragrances from my collection that are universal, and I think people, it doesn't matter which taste, will enjoy no matter what, which are sort of like perfume masterpieces I also recommend to try, what I found is worth it, you know, just to experience. And one of them is surely my favorite, Isotta, because you won't find such a beautiful powdery rose with tea and eucalyptus that often. I would definitely say that Oh My Soul by 4160 Tuesdays is something that people need to have just in case you won't feel good, and then you will smell it and you will be hugged by the fragrance. I think that All Eyes on Me is a fabulous, boozy, spicy fragrance, and everyone should have a fragrance like it, maybe for some, you know, extra situations. The fourth fragrance would be Pourpre d'Automne, because I personally love violets. I can't even imagine life without lipstick violet fragrance, and this is the one I personally find the best. And I also have a discount for you. So the fifth fragrance would be, I think, I'm not sure. Okay, let's go with Tango. Sexy Amber, it's a staple in anyone's collection. And Rose I'll Die, or maybe Eau Fresh. Well, preferably check out the entire Galicia Fragrances range, but Rosal Gaia is just something fabulous. The rest, I don't know, I have so many good ones. Let's choose a vanilla, right? So vanilla I recommend, guys, is... Okay, check out Toscanello. That's like a very delicious foodie gourmand. It is vanilla, but not only, because it has milky and lactonic, interesting caramel, coffee-like nuances with rum. Vanilla that is really, really good is probably... Okay, let's go with Lune Feline, because this bottle, you'll be amazed by the amazing golden sparkles. And for the fruity fragrance, I will actually recommend you Keep Glazed or Blue Daisy by DSH. I remember how I smelled this fragrance in the summer. It was like mind-blowing experience. I was like, oh, quickly order a bottle of it. So I love that. And something else I wanted to recommend you is Orla by January Scent Project. I'm telling you, it's like the fragrance that will take your olfactory experience on a whole other level. And of course, check out Jungle Jezebel. Check it out. Check it out. Get out of your comfort zone. It's another masterpiece. All right. So what else do I have here? Probably so many other fragrances I forgot because I'm spacing. So just comment below anything you have to comment below, and I need to go have some rest. And I wish you all an amazing holiday. Stay safe and healthy. Let's make the best out of this year that is coming to the end. Have Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, but we will talk before that in another video. Please stay tuned for everything, and please subscribe. I'm giving all of me to you, and I'm asking only for a like, subscription, and ring that bell in order to be notified about my new videos. And of course, follow me on my social media such as Instagram and Facebook, you know, for live chats with perfumers and other fun stuff. Bye guys! Thanks God I cleaned the shelves recently, so they are not covered into dust as they used to be. And here is a little preview for those who stayed here till the end. This is what you'll see in the part 3 of my perfume collection. Stay tuned for it, it's coming up really soon.